So trying to build, master two things all at once never happens, never works. You have to focus on one thing, get extremely good at it, master it, and then move on to another task. I'll give you some examples. I see a lot of guys in fighting arena, MMA, for instance. Some guys get involved and they decide they want to master judo, they want to master jujitsu, they want to master kickboxing, they want to master, and they never really become good at any of it. The ones who really excel are the ones who have mastered something prior to coming into the UFC, and then they acquire new skill sets and get really, really good at that. You keep practicing the thing that you already know because there's no such thing as not being able to get better. But the new skill is what you put your primary focus on. You can't do 50% of that and 50% of this and expect to master it and be not just proficient at it, but excellent. Okay. And that is what you're shooting for. You're shooting for excellence. So if you're trying to build a business and your focus is shifted from one thing to another, there's so many different dynamics that are going on with respect to each business. It's hard for anyone to be 100% focused where they should be and be 100% effective. And the message that you're sending to your team of people that you're building on either side is a conflicting message. What you're really saying is, I don't believe in what I'm showing you, that I'm going to go and do something else as well. You can't have split focus and conflicting beliefs on two separate businesses. It just doesn't work. It gives a bad message to your team. You know, it's like you got one team, you're telling them you want to help them, this and that, and then you got another team, you want to help them, and I get that you're trying to produce, multiple streams of income, but that's not the way to do it. So now you can take this for whatever it's worth to you, and you could say, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about," and that's fine. You choose. You have your right to choose to believe that which you want to. Okay, but I've never seen it work, and all the top people in this industry have all focused on one thing at a time. Doesn't mean they haven't ventured off and done other things, but whatever it is that they were doing, they were focused on that and that alone at that time, outside of having a full-time job when you first come in. Okay, everybody, you start out with a full-time job and you're splitting your time from your full-time job, to your business, your home-based business in the evening. So yes, you got your full-time job and then you go home and you're in your own business. And that usually is temporary if you're serious about building your business, because if you're serious, then you're going to put the work in. You're going to put 100% effort in the time that you have. And here's one of the biggest falters that I think people have mentally, is they say, well, I don't know if I can get started in something like that because I got to give everything I do 100%. And I get it. But there's nothing you do that you give 100% to. Nothing. Okay? Because your time is split between family, God, or I should say God, family, in that order, and business, and then extracurricular activities, right? So you're not giving any of them 100%. So when I hear people say that, it's like, that's just an excuse to say no. Just tell the person who's introducing something to you, just tell them no if you're not interested. It's better than saying, well, I don't believe I can do it if I can't give it 100%. You don't give your job 100%. You don't go home and think about your job all night long while you're at home with your wife. At least I hope you don't. I hope that you're giving your family 100% of your time and effort and attention when you're with them, not focused on your job. So you give 100% of yourself to your job when you're on the job, not when you're off the job. You put 100% of your task, of your focus on the task at hand at the time. So you can give 100% effort of the time that you commit to. That is given 100%. Okay. So if you say you're going to do 2 hours to build your networking business, be 100% in those 2 hours, focus on building your business. Okay. That's how you're going to succeed, because it's consistency. It's not about, you know, length of time in, although that has some value, okay? But it's the consistency within the time that you say you're going to commit. A commitment is a commitment, okay? So if you say you're going to do it. And if you do more than what you say you're going to do, that's okay, but don't do less, okay? You know, if you add a little extra on the back end somewhere, that's fine. But you know, if you say you're going to do 2 hours and then you give an hour here and half hour there, that's not a full commitment, and it's not focused. Okay, you need to be laser focused. Okay, and it's hard to be laser focused if you got several different things that you're working on at one time that are all designed to give you financial independence. All right, so if they're all designed to do that, it's hard to actually allow that to happen if your focus is split between all of them. Okay, and people don't want to follow you, and they can't trust you or believe you if they see that you're running over here and you have loyalty over here and you got loyalty over there. And it's good that you want to create, financial independence and residual income and all that good stuff that networking offers that jobs just don't offer. And I'm not knocking jobs, but the reality is they do not offer residual income. They do not offer generational wealth. Okay. So if you jump into the arena of network marketing and you really want to make it, focus on the business you're in. Focus on the one that gives you the most pleasure, the most passion, and the one that you truly believe that you're going to have great success in. See, great success in anything comes with belief that you can do it, and also understanding what your dream is. And that's number one. If you don't know what your dream is, okay, you don't know why you're doing it. A dream is not making more money. Let's just get that straight. It's what you will do with the money, and it's what you will do with the extra time that you create. Okay. So, when people start out and looking for a better way, there are reasons why they're looking for a better way. They might love their job, but they hate the time involved. They hate the fact that they can't spend time with their family and do what they want to do because they have to check in with someone. So those aspects of it, they hate. Okay. It's not fulfilling in that area. Yes, they make a lot of money, but if money was the end all, then everybody who has a high paying job would not be stressed and having heart attacks. Okay. The highest heart attack rate is on Mondays when people are going back to work after enjoying the weekend. It's the stress of knowing they have to spend time away from their family. Maybe they have some family stuff going on that they know they need to be there, but they can't because they can't get the time off. Okay. Now, listen, anytime you have to be somewhere that you have to be there in order to make money, or you have to do a task in order to make money, you're not free. No matter what you say, or no matter how much money you make, you are not free if you have to go and put time in to continue to make money. The thing about networking, you get paid based on things you've done in the past. So coming into the business, it's you're going to build, 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 build. And depending on your work ethic, the build stage, the foundational stage can take a short time or it could take a long time. It depends on you. All right, because if you look in your business and there are people who have succeeded, it's not by luck, it's not by chance, it's by focus. Okay, it's by them plugging into a system, taking on the advice of a mentor and listening and learning and then going and doing. I was just watching a fight of a guy I trained. Um, Actually, the first guy that I actually really trained in fighting. And he wanted to, he had a habit of drinking some beers and partying on the weekends. And so I got him out of that to a degree. But he won a couple of fights. He was winning every fight. I mean, the guy was, he put the work in, he was winning fights. And then for this one particular fight, he lost. And I didn't want him to fight because I knew he wasn't ready. He hadn't been in the gym training. He was, slacking off. And I just told him, I said, listen, you're not ready for this fight. Although I knew he could beat his opponent, had he been ready, there's no doubt he could have beat this guy had he been ready. But the fight was so close because he wasn't ready. So just imagine what could have happened if he was ready. Because the guy barely won the fight, but he did win. Okay. And so it's about focus on the task at hand, and it's about discipline. All right. So if you're disciplining yourself to do the things that you have to do and not necessarily the things you want to do. There are a lot of things that I don't want to do, but I do them because I understand what it is I am doing it for. See, I do this and I do this and I do this. I don't like this, but I do this anyway because what I like is the end result. The end result of what I'm going for. I'm not doing this because I like or dislike any of it, okay? It's just what I need to do. In order for me to acquire this, whatever tasks fall on this side to get me over to the other side, then I'm going to do it. It may be a little uncomfortable. I may not agree with it. You don't have to agree with it for it to be right. No one said you had to agree. No one said you had to like it. No one said that you had to understand it. If it works, if other people are successful based on these strategies, why would you not do them? When I train people, sometimes I get someone trying to tell me what is the best way for them to do a certain thing. And I pause for a second and I'm like, okay, I'll listen to what you have to say. But I evaluate what they're saying based on my experience. My experience inevitably outweighs their theory. All right. And there are times in business when my theory is outweighed by someone else's experience. So I want to use the experience of someone else who has success so that I can follow that success, irregardless of my own personal feelings or theory. It really doesn't matter. What matters is the end result. If you're moving down a certain path and it's not working for you, stop. Now, when I say stop, I don't mean quit the business that you're in, whatever it may be. And I'm not going to mention my business. It doesn't really matter. If you don't know and you want to know what I'm involved in, then just reach out to me. All right. I'm on Facebook. But this is for any networking business out there. You can't ride two horses to the finish line, and you can't be double-minded. And you want to build a team of loyal followers that become leaders. Okay, so notice I didn't say just followers. I don't want people following me. I want people who want to lead. I want people who want to find out what it is to lead. So I'm following leaders so I can learn to lead better and become better at what it is I do. Okay. And the leaders I follow have people that they follow. Isn't that funny? And they become better leaders because they're following leaders who are following other leaders who are better at leading than they are. And they have something and someone to glean from. Okay. You become better. I never, ever, ever stop training. You know why? Because I know that there are the little things that matter. I had a student recently say to me, I really need to focus on these little things. And I was like, you got it. That's it. You can learn all this masterful stuff, the big stuff, the fancy, things that are like, wow, man, that looks amazing. But it's the little nuances within that stuff that make it amazing, that make it simple. Okay. It's just the little tiny things. Okay. And people don't pay attention to the little tiny things. You know what they pay attention to? The big, 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 thing that makes everyone go wow. No one's going to go wow if the little tiny things that make the big thing work aren't in place. Those things have to be in place. You have steps that you must do. And the steps are usually the things that people don't see. People see the success over here, okay? But they don't understand what you went through to get to the success. People see you performing at a certain rate and at a certain level or doing certain things very, very successfully. But they don't know that it took work, sweat equity, and it took time, okay? And it took making mistakes. It took getting rejection after rejection after rejection. And it's, that is not a big thing. When people hear that word rejection, oh my God, get over it. People say no all the time. If someone asked you if you wanted a particular flavor of ice cream that you don't like, you're going to say no. That person should not be offended because you said no to something that wasn't your flavor. Okay. So people say no all the time, but you will never find that person who is looking for what you have if you allow the no's to get in the way. When a person opens up a brick and mortar business, 10 people walk in, maybe 2 people buy, maybe 2 people buy. Okay. So not everyone walking into a retail establishment is there to buy. Some people are there to look around. Maybe they'll come back later and buy at another time. But sometimes you walk in a store just because it's new. It's you want to check things out and look around, and that is how customers are developed over time because they become familiar with what you have to offer. In the world of networking, people need to become familiar with who you are. So what are you selling in networking? It's not your products, your goods, and your services. That's not what you sell, okay? People buy from you because they like you. You sell you, okay? By not trying to sell you, by being you, by being the person that people would like to be around and get to know. And once people get to know you, because you're coming off genuinely, okay, let me say this, you're genuinely coming off genuine, okay? It's not a front. This is who you are. And people are either going to like you or they're not going to like you. But now, let me back this up a second. If there are certain personality traits that you're holding on to that do not serve you, dump them. Get rid of them because they're not going to help you. If certain things just irk you, which are really not all that important, you know what? Get rid of that attitude. It's not going to help you. You need to be relatable to as many different diverse groups of people as there are. Listen, this whole nonsense about race is going on, right? The black race, the white race, the Spanish race, the Chinese race, the Arab race. I could go on and on and on, okay? It doesn't matter. There's only one race. It's the human race. And within the human race, there's different cultures, okay? So you need to be able to relate to people from different cultures, okay? It's not about race. It's about cultural differences, okay? And culturally, we all want the same thing. We all want better for our families. We all want to not have to worry about money. We all want to live a good life in peace, in love, and in harmony. Okay? That's what we all ultimately want. Okay? So we all want the same things. How we go about getting it might be different. My path is different from someone else's path. But if you're in networking, you need to align your path with the mentorship in place so that you can get to your destination. You've decided when you join a networking company, you've decided, whether you realize it or not, you've decided to become a part of the whole. Okay? It's not no longer you and your way. It's you committing to aligning yourself with the leadership and the game plan. Okay, in my business, we call it the MAP, Massive Action Plan. Okay, and you follow the MAP to a T, no deviating from it, because it is proven to work not for one, two, three, four, not even a couple of hundred. I'm talking a few thousand people who are successful to many different degrees. Some are making millions, some are making hundreds of thousands, some are able to walk away from their job. It doesn't make them a multimillionaire, but you know what? When you can double your income and walk away from your job, I think that's a pretty good thing. Okay, especially when you know you don't have to go back. Okay, and everything that you've built is only going to grow from that point. You can't stop it from growing, because you know what? You're not in control of what someone else does. Someone has a big dream, they're going to tear this thing apart. Someone with a little dream, they're going to do a little bit of work. Your goal is not to try and push people beyond their personal desire. Your goal is to find those who want to run and give them the room to run, give them the opportunity to run. Okay, and that's by plugging them into the system so that they're not limited to your personal knowledge or your personal slant on how things should be. Okay, when I train someone, I use the wisdom of all the years of training that I've gleaned from others. So I'm teaching people based on what was taught to me by other people. Okay, it's not something that I came up with. Okay, I may innovate a little bit, but it's based on stuff I know that has been put into me from other people. Okay, so, and other masters that I highly respect. Okay, so you don't master anything without first becoming a student of that. Okay, by not submitting your ego to another person. Okay, be it a man or a woman, sometimes it's submitting your ego to someone younger than you. You know, age does not define wisdom in a lot of cases. Okay. Sometimes people know things that you don't know. And just because they're young doesn't mean you can't learn from them. So don't let that become a stumbling block for you. So if you want to succeed, what you want to do is align yourself with one, get on one horse, number one, be passionate about riding that horse to the finish line. Okay. And then pack on that horse all the tools and all the things you're going to need to get you to the finish line. Okay. And so you need to be running with the runners and who are all heading in the same direction with the same focus, with the same goal in mind, okay, of succeeding to get to the finish line, okay? And the mentor that you're following can't be two mentors, one here, for two separate businesses. You can have more than one mentor, but it has to be focused in one area of your business. Now, there are other areas in your life that you need mentors, and you can use them on your faith, finances, and different areas that have nothing really to do with your business, but in an indirect way, I would say they do. Okay, so and if you connect it with the right team of people, you'll find all of that in one place. It's amazing how that works. Okay, so because truly, a mentor doesn't just care about your in business, doesn't just care about your success in business. They truly care about your overall success as a human being. Okay, you cannot be in networking and not be affected by how you affect other people's lives. Okay, the true mark of a successful person is how many lives are better off because they met that person, because that person spoke into their life. Okay, um, people should be better off for having met you after walking away from you. Okay, so ride one horse to the finish line within my niche, and I'm speaking to people who are in my business, and this is to you guys that are out there. Mr. Mike Delco did a talk earlier today on the power call, which inspired me to do this. Okay, because he's very passionate. He said it from his heart. And I know some people may have been, oh, who are you to tell me what to do? No one's telling you what to do. We're just giving you advice that we know works. And what does not work is trying to build multiple networking businesses at the same time. It just doesn't work. Doesn't. Okay. I've been involved in the industry since I'm 61 years old. I've been involved in the industry since I'm in my 20s. Okay. I've tried that, doesn't work. I've seen people who were focused on one thing and became highly successful. They may have ventured off and done other things after they were successful in what they first started out. Okay. But it was after they created success in that area. Okay. And they created credibility that they were able to hop on another horse, not ride two horses at the same time. Okay. You cannot get to the same destination riding two separate horses. Okay, just does not work. It will slow you down on both. Okay, and it will create massive mistrust between you and the team that you're building, because they need to know that they can count on you, and subliminally you're sending them a message that they can't. Okay, it's like having a trainer come in from another gym who you're going to compete against, and have that trainer come in and train your fighters. Just doesn't make sense at all, because his primary focus is on his guys that he's committed to training. He's coming over here to train other people. He's not going to give you 100%. Okay, and you can't give 100% over here and over here. Okay, you got to be totally committed to your goal. Okay, one thing at a time. Master it. Master the art of whatever it is that you're doing. All right. If you're going to study jujitsu, study it and become extremely good at it. Then after you're extremely good at that, then you want to go and learn real martial arts. Okay. And I'm not saying jujitsu, I'm talking about stand up. I'm not saying jujitsu is not real martial arts. I'm just saying if you're going to learn stand up, then you go learn real stand up martial arts after you learn your jujitsu, or one before the other. Doesn't matter what order you learn them in, but learn one, then learn the other, which is my point. Okay. So this way you become extremely good at both, but it's hard to do both at the same time and become very good. You'll become okay in both of them. Let me tell you something. In the fight game, you can't be okay. You're going to get your head knocked off by someone who's really good at one. Okay? So you're going to get derailed. You're going to get thrown off your horse because your success is not going to come at the rate that you would like it to be. And it never is at the rate you would like it to be, but you're going to seriously impede your growth by your focus going back and forth. It's going to dramatically slow you down from whatever you could accomplish speed wise. Okay. Um, so, not trying to tell you what to do. Okay. But if you really want to succeed in the networking business, pick a horse, become really good at riding that horse. And riding that horse means plugging in to the system that that horse is attached to. When you join a business, there's a system in place. Plug into the system. Become a student of the business. And figure out everything you need to do by plugging in and learning from others who have gone before you. That's why, you have leaders, because they've done things that you have yet to do. And they also can tell you what not to do based on the fact that they've tried it and it doesn't work. Okay? So you can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of aggravation, and a lot of money by figuring out what works based on the success of other people. Okay? So I hope this made sense. And again, for those who are involved in the business that I'm in, please do not approach me with anything else. And even if you're out there networking, I'm not focused on anything else except what it is that I am doing. I'm 100% laser focused on what it is I'm doing, and I'm riding that horse all the way to the end. Okay, so I suggest you do the same if you really want to succeed. If you're not getting the success that you think you should have at this point, it's probably because there's a few things you need correction on. All right, so just figure out what it is. And sometimes you have to step outside of yourself. Okay, you have to submit your ego to someone, a mentor, and say, look, here's where I'm at. Here's where I want to be. I'm frustrated. How do I fix this? They can only fix that or help you to fix it. They can't fix it for you, but they can help you fix it. But the counseling has to come from honesty. You got to be honest with them about where you're at, what you're doing, and what you're not doing. And then you have to be willing to take the advice and run with that advice. Okay? Because here's what I do know about most network marketing companies. I can't say all because I don't know the structure of all of them. I do know the ones that I have been involved in. What works is the main function of the business that makes it work, I should say. Sorry for the rambling over here, but what makes it work, okay, is the fact that the person who is mentoring you is going to mentor you based on the fact that they want to succeed. They can't succeed to the level that they desire if they lie to you. If they, in order for them to succeed, you have to succeed. Now, let me tell you something. The business I'm in, the more people that make money in this business that I'm in, okay, the more money you make. It's not based on the more work other people you do and you make money, okay? It's based on the fact that you're literally helping people make money, and you show them the proper way to build a successful business, and their businesses are growing, they're making more and more and more money. You are rewarded handsomely for helping people make money, not because people get involved. There is no money made for people signing up in free position. Literally, you can sign up for free. You can start making money in the free position. Okay. I'm not going to get into all the details of that. We have 9 o'clock webinars at goldrocks.info. If you want to find out what I'm talking about, go to goldrocks.info. 12 noon every day, 9 p.m. every evening Um, there's something for everyone. And I don't care what business you're in, you need to focus on one thing. And you need to have a dream big enough to keep you focused on that one thing. Why did you start doing what you were doing? You love your job. Great, I get it. But is your job getting you what you truly want? If you say you don't understand freedom, well, how about getting up when you want, going where you want, and not having to check in with anyone? And if a family member, your wife, your kids, brother or sister has an emergency, and you don't have to check with anyone to go help them, okay? You are in control of your time, not your boss, not your job. That might be worth something to some of you out there. And maybe that's why you got involved in business, okay, in your own home-based business, or maybe you're just tired of people telling you what to do, and maybe you got a job situation that you just needed a job, and you're at a point where you're like, oh, I hate this, okay? Some of you are there too, and some of you love your job, but you realize that, you know what, this is not cutting it. I love the people I work with. I love my boss. He's a great guy, but he can only pay me so much, and my dreams are way grander than what my income can afford me. And you could be at $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year in income, but you're giving up a lot of time and you're sacrificing a lot of your own personal dreams, your own personal life. And yes, you got the nice car and the nice house and this and that, but you know what? What is your time really worth? So again, I hope this has served someone. I hope this gets out to the right people. If you believe it helped you, sorry for the lighting, but I'm going to fix that situation. But anyway, that's not what's important. What's important here is the message, all right? And whether you can get a good glimpse of my face or not, is irrelevant, okay? So that's not helping. Okay, so anyway, I'm not a bad looking guy, okay? So anyway, again, I hope this helps. And if you want to find out what it is that I'm so passionate about, then hop on goldrocks.info Monday through, actually we do stuff on Sundays too, but actually officially it's Monday through Saturday, 12 noon and 9 p.m. at www.goldrocks.info. And if you want to talk to me on a personal level, just reach out to me on Facebook. You can find me. This is Probin Thompson. I'm out. Peace, love, understanding, and go after your dreams with every fiber of your being. And be a blessing to someone who's waiting for you.